Hello everyone, welcome to Gardening for Better Health. This is Henry B 723 and I'm here in my garden today. It's a wonderful day. The sun is shining, it's nice and warm. It's a perfect day for me to come out and transplant my kale. I'll take you along with me to show you how I do it. Come along with me. First, I've set up my pots over here. I'm transplanting these kale from these cups into these 5-gallon buckets. In these 5-gallon buckets, I have potting soil. I have some of this black cow manure mixed in. And I'm going to add a couple of amendments before I put the kale in. I'll show you what I have. Let's set these aside. The soil is very soft and right now it's dry, so it's easier to work with when it's dry. I'm going to put a little bit more black cow in here and start in. I'm not sponsored by Black Cow, but I've used it for a few years and it really does help with the health of my vegetables. So I'm going to put a little bit more in here and stir it in. Put some in this pack. And you want to break up any little clumps that are in the bag so that the soil can be well mixed. Kale grows very well in 5-gallon buckets, and when I do this, I only plant one kale plant per bucket because kale gets to be relatively large. So I want to make sure that the roots have room to grow and not have to compete with anything else. So this is how I have done this. There's some cow manure mixed in the bottom, and just to make sure, I'm putting some close to the top. Okay, and we'll set this aside. The next thing I'm going to put in here in the way of amendments is some bone meal. Bone meal is organic and it helps to promote strong leaf growth. So we'll do some bone meal. I'll make a hole and put the bone meal around in the bottom of the hole. One thing about it, when you're planting your vegetables, you do want to make sure that you give them the nutrients they need to get off to a good start. And that's what this bone meal is going to do with this kale. Okay. And that's 1 tablespoon per container. Put a little bit more growing in this one. Okay. So now, let's take some of the Scarlet Kale. As you can see, this kale plant is very healthy, a very strong stem. The leaves are absolutely gorgeous. Look at that rich color in this Scarlet Kale. It's nice growing my own vegetables from seed because I can choose just the perfect variety of kale that I want to have, plant that seed, nurture it, and if I am fortunate, it'll come up nice and healthy like this one. But it's time to transplant it. Let's get it over here in the 5-gallon bucket. I'm going to work this out of the container. I planted the seeds in this cup, and the cup had holes in the bottom for drainage so that when I watered it, the roots did not get root bound and they didn't drown. Check out the roots on this kale. That's phenomenal. So it should have no problems acclimating to the 5-gallon bucket. Let's put it in. So I'll collapse the dirt around the roots. Tuck it in, give it a good tamp down. That's one. Here's another Scarlet Kale. Same situation with this one. Nice healthy plant. Make a hole. Squeeze it from the bottom, and that way it easily comes out. And the roots on this is phenomenal too. Always make sure that my labels are in here with the plants. When I moved those other sticks because it broke, the writing was at the top. So I put this one back in here. Okay. 2 down. And here's another one. Oh, hear those birds singing, chirping. That's what makes being out in the garden fun. When you get a chance to hear the birds sing, enjoy the breeze as you plant new life into your garden. Now mind you, there are some other noises too. Where I live, there's always a bunch of noise in the background. Hear that? Sounds like somebody's sawing something wherever they are. I can't see them from my location, but I get a lot of noise now. Where I am, I've been here a long time, and when I first moved here, it was very rural. But since then, there's been a lot of clearing and construction. A lot of the habitat for the birds and other animals have been removed, and they've built up shopping center and some other businesses in the area. So it's become a lot more populous. I have a lot of traffic in this area now that I didn't used to have when I first moved here, and it's different. Peace and quiet that was once part of this area is gone. There's lots of not just saws, but cars and motorcycles and ambulances that come through on a regular basis, and it makes it different. But one cannot stop progress in the area. I've seen some other YouTubers who actually are looking for land in other areas because it's more quiet. They're experiencing some of this urban sprawl too. And so, you know, it's not out of the question that if I run across something that is quiet, I may just be willing to make a change at some point. But for right now, this is working, so we will take it from here. I'm gonna go get another bucket because I have one more kale to plant. Here we go. I'm going to do the same thing with this bucket over here, if you can see it. I'll put some more powder in it. Do some bone meal for this one too. This one has two, but I'm going to go ahead and plant those together since this is a smaller one. I don't want to ruin the root structure on it by trying to separate it. So we'll put two in this one. This one has two as well, but because they've grown up together and the root structure on the smaller one was not as strong, I planted them together. So they'll just have to come up together. I think I will. I'm going to separate this one because these are close to the same size. So let's see, can I gently pull this apart without damaging it? We shall see. That one is in. Collapse some dirt around the bottom of this one. Tamp it in. should do it. I'm going to go ahead and water this in. I'm not going to give it too much water just yet. Just enough to let it establish by sinking it down a little bit in the earth. It's a very warm day here. It's supposed to get to be about 85. And so this afternoon, I'll come out and check on it. And then at that time, I will put some leaf mulch on top. And that way it will have been planted. It will have been watered. It's got the proper amendments in it. And it will be all set up to start growing. Okay. That's it for now for these kale. I wound up with 3, 6, 8 kale. And that's a pretty good start. I shouldn't need to plant any more kale unless something happens, like a storm comes through and wrecks some things. We hope that won't happen, but I do have some backup kale in the event that that happens. So, this is Henry B. 723. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let me know how things are going in your garden, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.